These are the guys who run Washington from the privacy of the big Washington law offices. These are the people who are the interface between the corporations and government. These are the people who combine know-how and know-who. They're lawyers, but they're also other things. They're lobbyists, they're politicians, they're men who don't tell their client how to live with the law, they tell their clients how to make laws. A few things happen in Washington by accident. When a corporation wants something done in Washington, it's not going to go. They're not going to go to their friendly congressman. Your congressman is one cow in a herd. You go to some guy there who, a lawyer, who can put together a package for you and sell it to Congress. If you say you want a good example. Back in the 30s, the airline industry was pretty chaotic. It had free enterprise competition, which is something that American businesses never really wanted. I mean, despite all the things here about American capitalism, this is something capitalism doesn't want, competition. If you had an airplane and you wanted to start an airline between Dallas and Fort Worth or Dallas and Austin, you just flew there. You didn't have to ask anybody's permission. Now, what this was doing was killing the prices because anybody could do it. You know, it was cutthroat competition. So the established airlines formed something called the Air Transport Association. They go into Covington and Burling, which is Washington's premier national law firm, and say, what can you do about this problem? Okay, Covington's answer was, submit yourself to regulation. In return for submitting to regulation, you acquire a monopoly. Covington and Burling wrote the Civil Aeronautics Act, which created the Civil Aeronautics Board, which you had, thereafter, if you wanted to fly an airplane, you had to get a certificate of convenience before you could go into the business. But you had a nice little grandfather clause there, meaning if you're already in business, you stayed there. The net effect of this was to freeze out everybody else, monopolize the existing carriers. And these are the guys who still run, 90% of the passenger traffic in the United States. The Washington lawyer is sophisticated enough to realize that he can make the federal government a partner of his client in price fixing and monopoly control of the market, any number of ways. When the regulations are going to come, the Washington lawyer wants to be the guy who writes the regulations his client's going to live under.
You said that you think the public interest lawyers in the Nader mold might be able to turn things around. I
believe in the adversary system. The reason these Washington lawyers have prospered over the years and built up their own mythology, the idea they're invincible, is that there's been no competition. It's like the Yankees playing some school-out team every afternoon. The Nader people are getting there and fighting them. These are tough young kids. They're smart. Nader is pretty darn tight in his screening, but he'll pay these kids $45 a week, and they'll come in and work hard for 2 years. And they're knocking the legal profession over. This is a very heartening trend in Washington law. But, okay, you work for Nader 2 years, your wife gets pregnant, you've got to go out and start making a living. What do? You have to quit. You go to Covington and Burling. So you're caught. They've got to find a way to, finance this on an ongoing basis. I think that because these guys are representing me and you and everyone else, that they deserve more money. They deserve a living, decent wage. It's very good to go to this pro bono public interest work, but my gosh, as a matter of economic reality in Washington, you can't do it forever.